Our story kicks off in this breathtaking yet chaotic snow-covered cityscape, and right from the jump, we meet Leo, a veteran police officer who's, let's be real, going through it. He's stuck in his car, completely out of gas, like zero fuel left, and trapped in a traffic jam that just never seems to end. It stretches on forever, and honestly, it looks like the whole city's frozen in time. But here's the thing, the snowstorm and the traffic, that's just the tip of the iceberg for Leo. He's on the phone with his colleague Philippe, and through that call, we get a glimpse into his real mess. Turns out, Leo's facing some serious disciplinary trouble at work. Like, we're talking career on the line kind of heat. Philippe, trying to be helpful or maybe just nosy, suggests Leo call a union lawyer, but Leo shuts it down immediately, calling them useless. You can tell he's fed up, jaded after spending, quote, years in the organization, which basically means he's dedicated his whole life to law enforcement. But clearly, something major went wrong. And just when you think it can't get worse, surprise, it does. Leo's personal life, also in shambles. Apparently, his wife Martha took their daughter Julia and moved in with her parents. Philippe mentions it's been like that for a year. Leo jumps in real quick, insisting they're just there for the holidays. But Simon, we all know that's just denial talking. Sounds like a serious marital meltdown has been simmering under the surface for a while. Later, Leo talks to his daughter Julia, and this part really stings. He promises her he'll be home in the morning to open Christmas presents. You can actually feel the weight of that promise, especially knowing what kind of night he's about to walk into. He even tells her he's on a dangerous mission, but adds, "Don't worry, it's dangerous for the villains, not for me." If only he knew how wrong he was. While Leo's life is basically crumbling both at work and at home, across town, another storm is brewing, and this one's not about snow. We shift focus to a gang of robbers, including two main guys, Pasha and Eric. They're huddled together somewhere, quiet, going over some critical intel. Apparently, their last plan fell apart because the Serbs know everything, which basically means someone on their crew might have leaked info or they were being watched. But these guys aren't the quitting type. Instead of backing down, they cook up an even bolder plan. They want to hit an armored van, tonight, right in the middle of this insane snowstorm. Their twisted logic? Nobody expects that, and anyone stuck in traffic won't risk their life for nothing. They're betting that everyone's too frozen, scared, or distracted to intervene. And as for their getaway ride, they've got a sketchy van that just came into their hands. No questions asked. These guys are clearly not worried about playing fair. Then, boom. Just like that, the peaceful, snow-covered night turns into absolute chaos. We see the armored van rolling through the frozen streets. The robbers spring into action. Gunfire breaks the silence. It's a full-blown heist, and things spiral out of control almost immediately. During the shootout, Pasha takes a serious hit. He's badly injured. But it's not just the gang facing danger. A civilian couple ends up caught right in the crossfire. The wife, Laura, is completely distraught. She's screaming, "They took my husband!" And here's the chilling part. The robbers literally dragged him away without his coat or shoes, forcing him into the freezing dark. Can you imagine the panic, the fear? One moment you're driving with your partner, the next they're gone, kidnapped in the snow. This is where fate steps in. Or maybe it's just the right person being in the worst possible place at the right time. Leo, still caught in that traffic mess, ends up on the scene. And guess what? He's the only cop around. No backup, no squad, just him, surrounded by chaos. He looks around and says it feels like total lawlessness. And honestly, he's not wrong. Enter Mickaela, the new recruit. She's fresh out of the police academy, just starting her field training. And now, she's being thrown into what's basically a real-life nightmare. No prep, no warm-up, just boom. Armed robbery, hostages, and a blizzard. Talk about a trial by fire. You can practically see the fear and disbelief in her eyes, but to her credit, she doesn't back down. Together, Leo and Mickaela form the most unlikely duo. One seasoned but burnt out, the other brand new and probably rethinking her life choices already. But tonight, they're all this city has. Lieutenant Terranova from Operations gives Leo a call. She's not wasting time. She jumps straight into it, laying out the urgent situation. Leo, still battling the cold, now has one more pressure to deal with. And just when they think things couldn't get more intense, Laura, the wife of the kidnapped man, calls again, this time sounding completely broken. Through sobs, she tells them the robbers were Russian. That one word? Game changer. The investigation just took a sharp turn. Then comes another surprise. Officers find 2 bags left behind in the armored van. Like, seriously? Robbers who take hostages but leave bags? Something about this heist just isn't adding up. Whatever was in those bags, it wasn't more important than escaping, so that only makes finding them even more urgent. The cops start scanning the city for stolen vehicles that match any possible getaway plan. Sandra, tech wizard of the team, steps in to help. She's brought in to comb through a mountain of surveillance footage, and after digging through a ton of data, she finally spots something useful. A suspicious RV, practically a house on wheels, with the plate number 0691KBH. Bingo. Leo and Mickaela, the most mismatched but weirdly functional team ever, head out to investigate the RV. As they move in, the tension is thick. Inside, they discover Pasha, one of the robbers from the heist. He's bleeding, shaking, clearly in agony, and scared out of his mind. He mutters that a cop shot him and begs to go home to his family. And this is where we get a rare glimpse of Leo's softer side. Despite everything, Leo takes off his vest and offers it to Pasha. It's a small but powerful moment, a bit of humanity in the middle of all this madness. With Pasha now in custody and medics en route, Leo and Mickaela push forward. They spot tracks in the snow and decide to follow them. But the storm is still raging and visibility's trash. Mickaela starts to lose her patience, understandably. Leo's constant sarcasm and calling her intern isn't helping either. But Mickaela isn't the type to just take it. She snaps back, reminding Leo that they promised Laura they'd bring her husband back. She refuses to let that promise slip away. They trudge through the freezing, snow-covered terrain, chasing what looks like the robber's trail. But then, bam! They realize it was a setup. The trail is fake. They've been tricked. The real tracks lead north, and now they're already behind. It's frustrating, but they don't quit. We cut back to the hostage, still being forced to march barefoot through the freezing night. You can practically feel the numbness setting into his body. Every step a fight to survive. Meanwhile, Laura calls again, her voice now filled with total despair. She's been sitting in her car with her kids for over 2 hours, waiting for someone, anyone, to bring her news. Leo answers and promises again that they'll find her husband. You can hear it in his voice. The weight of that promise is getting heavier by the minute. Back at the abandoned RV, Leo and another officer, probably a higher-up, find something grim, the frozen body of another robber, lying just outside the trailer. A discovery like that should have brought them closer, but instead, it sparks an argument. The other officer insists they have to wait for forensics, that everything must go by the book. But Leo's had enough of the book. He says what we're all thinking. If we wait now, they'll be gone forever. And here's the twist. The guy who's under investigation for misconduct suddenly takes charge. He looks the officer dead in the eye and says, "I risked my life tonight. I'm not taking orders from a fool with wind in his head." Boom. Leo's done playing by the rules when the stakes are this high. Meanwhile, the robbers are falling apart. They ditch Pasha like he's nothing. The rest start arguing over money. One of them, the leader, clearly ruthless, decides to bail with the remaining cash. He throws Eric's protests aside and abandons his injured Uncle Pasha without a second thought. Real cutthroat stuff. But here's where things get interesting. The hostage tells Leo later that one of the robbers actually protected him, like literally shielded him from the others. It throws everything into question. Not every criminal in this story is entirely evil. Some lines got blurred, and fast. Back in the present, Mickaela steps up again. She suggests a bold move. They can chase down the last robber and the hostage using a snowmobile. It's risky. The storm's still going, and the clock's ticking, but they've got no better option. Leo, now joined by Lieutenant Arana and Lieutenant Plazana, takes off into the snow. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Koba from SWAT is left to manage the entire operation from HQ. During this tense chase, Leo and Mickaela have a moment, a real one. Leo confesses the truth behind his disciplinary trouble. He covered up something in a previous case and accepted a gift. Mickaela doesn't let him off easy. She calls it what it is, taking the easy way out. While some officers give everything until they drop from exhaustion, he chose to hide and benefit. She doesn't yell. She just lays it out, and it lands. Leo knows she's right. Their pursuit leads them into the underground tunnels beneath Madrid. Dark, confusing, like a rabbit warren of concrete and dead ends. Police try to track the last suspect using monitors, but this guy, he's smart. He ducks through emergency exits, climbs into ventilation shafts, everything he can to slip away. Koba calls Leo from command, saying the suspect's near a vent tower and needs backup now. But Leo, busy transporting the wounded hostage to the hospital, refuses. "This is more important," he says. "I don't need you. He'll take me." He sticks with the injured man, proving he gets it now. This job isn't about glory. It's about doing the right thing. Mickaela, watching him, finally sees the man behind the sarcasm. She tells him, "You're a good cop." And that moment, It hits. He asks her name, finally, and when she says Mickaela, he smiles and calls her a storm. Then comes the final showdown. Leo catches up to the last robber in the tunnel. The air's heavy. The sounds echo. It's tense. A wild shootout breaks out, bullets bouncing off concrete. No cover, no way out. The hostage screams, "Don't shoot, I'm a hostage!" And just when it feels like everything might collapse, Leo wins. He takes the robber down and rescues the hostage. The aftermath is bittersweet. Leo, Mickaela, and the team get the wounded safely to the hospital. And despite everything he's been through, or maybe because of it, Leo emerges a hero. The media praise him, crediting the impeccable actions of the font inspector of the Madrid police. The hostage gets reunited with his family. The moment's emotional, raw. Everything they fought for meant something. Then, in the final scenes, we fast forward a bit. Leo, who spent most of the movie dangling over a disciplinary cliff, doesn't just keep his job. He's probably getting a medal. He's even gifted a surprise trip to Santo Domingo for his family. Total plot twist. All that effort to earn points? Turns out saving lives in a snowstorm earns a few of those. And right before we fade out, we get one last scene with Leo and Mickaela. Her taxi is stuck in the snow, of course, and Leo offers her a ride. She jokes that she probably deserves a medal too, and honestly, she's not wrong. He agrees, admitting that it's hard to borrow and that every other excuse is just that, an excuse. She's not just an intern anymore, she's a storm. And the two of them, they've gone through something unforgettable together. So yeah, next time there's a freak blizzard in Madrid, maybe don't go outside. Or, who knows, maybe you'll end up saving the city with a sarcastic veteran and an intern who's tougher than everyone else.